Hey everyone, Paul here, Project You Are Another Me. Tuesday, January 5th, already rolling, 5 days down in a month. It's crazy how time flies, right? So, if you've ever taken in college or any school any of the women's studies or gender equality classes, you might have come across Gloria Steinem. And so she's a feminist movement back in the 60s and 70s and did a lot and has done a lot for the movement and there's a quote by her that's used in a variety of settings, and I wanted to use it for today for a specific purpose. Now, she says, the first problem for all of us is not to learn, but to unlearn. And I'm sure that kind of spanned from her, not her notion, but her idea of building gender equality for men. I'm assuming here to unlearn. I mean to unlearn the things that maybe society from the beginning of time has kind of dictated about the role of men and women. And nowadays we're trying to unlearn the role of the LGBT community, right? And so that's something that is very crucial in not just the 365 days of self-awareness and self-discipline, but just in overall everyday life. I mean, nowadays we're at 2016 now, and information, how we do business, how we interact with people, it's really being impacted by so many radical changes and different societal factors, ideologies that weren't around even 100 years ago or even 20 years ago, right? So, with that said, unlearning is very important, and I'll bring a lot of these up during this week and throughout this year, because there's a lot to do with why we're sometimes falling apart inside, and sometimes not maximizing who we are and building that self-discipline, building that self-awareness because of all our conditioning. And I am huge on that, and it's taken me a number of years since 2008 was a huge year for me. Things kind of turned itself around, and I had to really delve deep into understanding what the fabric of reality meant for me. It was very, very, very a long, drawn out 8 years almost. And now I'm just excited to see how once I've unlearned, how I'm learning again, right? And this is a byproduct of that project You Are Another Me. So only good things come out of it. So things like unexamined beliefs, assumptions, false notions, superstitions, magical thinking, erroneous opinions. These are just some of the few things that keep us from being present to what truly and really is. Now, I don't want to get that confused with having to argue what is true and what is not. Again, you create your own reality, you create the fabric of your own existence by your own belief system. But just understand, is that your belief system or something someone else kind of pushed on you? Whether, I hate to say this, but whether it be a parent, whether it be the environment that you grew up in, whether it be your TV, your government, your media, your teachers, whoever it might be, it might be even you. Things like that thoughts become words become actions, that whole cycle. Okay, so, and also not to confuse this with when I said magical thinking, and then the power of positive thought. You definitely want to have the trifecta, the thought, the desire, and the action. You can't just think, and think positive and not be positive, or think positive and not do or say positive. It has to go full circle. You have to, again, mind, body, spirit. You create that synergy. Okay. So the assignment for today, January 5th, Tuesday, is to stop not once, not twice, but 3 times today, and notice which of the above your mind was engaged in throughout the day, while you left it on its own. So as you kind of get through your routine, your tasks, whether they be mundane or difficult, and you start to kind of encounter either challenges or difficulties, what was the first thing that your mind on its own, did it go to unexamined beliefs, something like, let's say you're at work today, and you have a difficult situation, difficult person, and suddenly you start attacking, oh, it's because they might be this, they might be that, they must be going through this, they must be dealing with that, things might not be good at home. whatever that might be. Those are unexamined beliefs, assumptions. I'm sorry, those are assumptions or false notions. Um, things like unexamined beliefs might be something like, uh, not understanding and being sensitive and compassion to someone else's belief system because they're just not yours. Again, um, you want to be very careful as we're developing the self-awareness and self-discipline, because we don't want to quote unquote get on our high horse. By no means am I promoting that. Am I ever coming across like that, or but it's a fine line where you want to make sure you're not separating yourself from the norm or rising above the crowd, right above the classes because you're better than them, or because you're mightier and holier than thou. No, it might seem like you are, but it's only because you're understanding your environment under a different magnetic scope. And and again, on the inside looking out, they might see you as an outcast. They might see you as using those assumptions, those false notions, those unexamined beliefs. So it's your job, once you slip out, to go back in there and teach them. It's your responsibility. It's our responsibility, because I'm in the same boat too. There's a lot of times where I know I need to be silent when things are not how I see them, but not necessarily how I see them, but more so how what is the ultimate, whatever may be going on, person, place, or thing, is what's happening. Is that for what really is, or are my assumptions, conditioning, unexamined beliefs, are those leading me to believe that that's something that should be? I hope I'm making sense here. So it's almost like you have to know how to choose your battles. You have to know when things just kind of have to settle, and the dust has to settle in on itself. You don't react to people, especially like, let's say, let's use a business sense. I work with a lot of people in constant basis, where things can get a little rowdy, get a little upset, and I can't react to it immediately, because I have to assess the situation, assess the person, understand not just their perspective and their needs on their own behalf, but understand mine, and see how those coincide, and figure out if we're in community to the betterment or the ultimate overall goal to help one or more two people. So just something to keep in mind as you go through the day. So again, stop 3 times and notice which of the above your mind was engaged in. And really write this down. Maybe start, if you haven't been keeping a journal, go ahead and do so. Again, it's really going to help you really delve deep into who you are and what you can offer yourself and the other person. The majority of you maybe received my text. I wished everyone blessings, gifts, and fortune this year. Not in any materialism or anything like that, but just in understanding and being the better version of you for yourself and others. So again, this is we're going to really it's a big year. We're going to do a lot with not just what project you are another me for this 365 days, but also a lot of other not side projects, because it's within the same project, but a lot of other yes, you can say features and attractions within this project. And again, if you are interested in getting on a video and in sharing knowledge sharing, something you want to offer, again, there's a kind of guideline I want to go through. So we'll discuss that on private. Shoot me your idea, shoot me your video even, and I'll go ahead and put it together with the intro and the outro, and we'll get you rolling. If there's something you want to get out to the world that can, again, be that change you wish to see in the world, to help the world become a better place, the betterment of mankind, the betterment of you, the betterment of me, for our future, which are our children. Okay, so shoot me a text, shoot me an email, shoot me a comment, go on Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter, wherever you find Project You Are Another Me. Just dive in. All right, guys, this year is big for mankind, like I said in another post. I'm more excited about the new paradigm that we're shifting into. I'm seeing it more and more, and now it could be because I'm reflecting that change in my own 10-foot world, but it might just be because it's catching on. I'm delving into a lot of tons of research for one, and tons of exposure to some of the great and some of the good, and the good things that are happening in this world. Which is not to say that we're being oblivious or turning the other cheek, so to speak, because you definitely want to do that. Jesus was right when he said that, of course. So was Buddha and all these great master teachers. But meaning, you don't want to turn a blind eye when something is going wrong. I think it was Einstein that said, watching someone else do the wrong and letting them do the wrong, then in turn, you're actually doing, contributing to that evil power or that evil action. So just some of the things to keep in mind. But again, I've exceeded my time. Thank you guys for listening. And again, as always, remember, health is wealth, and health always definitely, for sure, starts as a state of mind. All right, guys, thank you.